You know, the whole idea of being friends with your ex is one of those topics that can spark a heated debate faster than you can say it's complicated. I mean, on one hand, it sounds like a great idea. You've shared a part of your life with this person, you've built memories together, and sometimes you just want to keep that connection alive. But on the other hand, let's be real. There are so many layers to this that it can feel like peeling an onion. And spoiler alert, you might end up crying. Let's start with the fact that relationships are complicated. When you're with someone, you're not just sharing your time. You're sharing your vulnerabilities, your dreams, your fears, and even your Netflix passwords. When that relationship ends, it's like someone took a wrecking ball to that shared life and suddenly you're left standing in the rubble wondering if it's even possible to sift through the debris and salvage a friendship. One of the biggest problems with being friends with an ex is the emotional baggage that comes along for the ride. You've got history, good, bad, and everything in between. Maybe you had a beautiful relationship that turned sour, or maybe it was rocky from the start. Either way, those feelings don't just vanish when you decide to just be friends. They linger like that one ex who keeps showing up at parties uninvited. You might think you're over it, but then you see them laughing with someone else and suddenly you're back in that emotional roller coaster. It's exhausting. And let's talk about boundaries, or rather the lack thereof. When you transition from lovers to friends, you might think it's as simple as swapping out the "I love you" for "let's catch up." But trust me, it's not that easy. You've shared intimate moments, and those memories can resurface at the most inconvenient times. You might find yourself slipping back into old patterns, whether it's flirting or just getting too comfortable in each other's presence. It's like trying to walk a tightrope. You're constantly balancing on the edge of what's appropriate and what's not. One wrong step, and you could tumble right back into the chaos of romantic feelings. Now let's get real for a second. Sometimes, one person is more invested in the friendship than the other. You might think you can handle it, but if your ex has moved on and is dating someone new, it can be like pouring salt on a fresh wound. You're trying to be supportive, to be the friend who's happy for them. But inside, you're battling jealousy and resentment. And the worst part, it's all happening while you're pretending to be totally cool about it. You're smiling on the outside while your insides are screaming, "What am I doing here?" And then there's the issue of new relationships. If you're dating someone new, how do you explain your friendship with your ex? It can create unnecessary tension. Your partner might feel insecure or threatened, and suddenly you're caught in the middle trying to appease two people who mean a lot to you. It's like being a referee in a game you didn't even want to play. You want to honor your past while also nurturing your present, but it can feel like walking through a minefield. One misstep and you could blow everything up. Let's not forget the social media aspect. In today's digital age, it's almost impossible to completely escape your ex. You might be tempted to unfollow them, but then you risk looking petty. Or maybe you stay connected, thinking it'll be fine, only to find yourself scrolling through their photos and feeling that familiar pang of nostalgia, or worse, heartbreak. It's a constant reminder of what was and what could have been, and that can be incredibly hard to navigate. You might think you're over them, but social media can easily pull you back into that emotional whirlpool. And what about the friends you share? You might have mutual friends, and suddenly you're in this awkward position of trying to figure out who gets invited to what. You don't want to be the one who creates tension in the friend group, but at the same time, you don't want to feel like you're tiptoeing around your own life. It's like trying to play a game of chess where the pieces keep changing sides. It can feel so frustrating and draining. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to be friends with an ex. Some people can pull it off, and kudos to them, but it usually requires a lot of emotional maturity, clear communication, and let's be honest, a bit of luck. You need to be on the same page about what the friendship means for both of you. If one person is still holding on to hope for reconciliation while the other has moved on, things can get messy really fast. So, what's the takeaway here? If you're considering being friends with an ex, take a moment to really think about it. Ask yourself if you're truly ready to handle the emotional complexity of that relationship. Are you both in a place where you can respect each other's boundaries? Can you be honest about your feelings? And most importantly, Are you prepared for the possibility that it might not work out? At the end of the day, relationships are about growth, sometimes together, sometimes apart. It's okay to cherish the memories and let go of the need to maintain a friendship. Sometimes the healthiest choice is to take a step back, heal, and focus on your own journey. Because, let's face it, life is too short to be stuck in the past when there's a whole world of possibilities waiting for you in the future.